Planet Earth, year 2015. The human race is controlled by aliens from a distant planet, Syracuse, in Galactica X-17. Humans today are so dependent on their own machines that they have effectively become slaves. How did it happen? WSMX. This is the true story of the world's biggest conspiracy. The story of how machine intelligence integrated everything. Resistance was futile. Everything started at the beginning of the 21st century with the idea of semantic web and semantic web services. Who could have known at that time that this idea came not from humans, but from deep space? Semantically enhanced web services aim to support people and enable seamless communications between their systems. And they did. But today, in the year 2015, semantic web services and WSMX are a symbol of machine dominance over the human race. The world's biggest conspiracy started far, far away from the Earth, in the brains of two aliens from Syracuse, Christophus Buslerius and Detrius Fensalus. In their world, the machine age had imploded in the bleak aftermath of the Alpha Industrial, or AI, winter. Learning from experience, they planned to take over control of the Earth. Their top alien brains masterminded a plan at the beginning of the 21st century to build an infrastructure, later called the Web Services Execution Environment, to conquer the Earth's information systems by integrating all devices and bridging the divide of human-machine interaction. The age of machines had arrived. Now, in the year 2015, it's hard to believe that people of the 20th century and at the beginning of the 21st century would believe in maniacs waging oil wars, in international corporations making profits regardless of human costs, and above all, in their governments spending taxpayers' money to hasten the machine takeover. But that was a reality at the beginning of our century. People believed that through research and developing new technologies, they could be happier. The Syracusans chose Ireland as a target landing country. No one would expect a revolution to start on this quiet island. In the year 2001, they initiated a massive campaign in the media to brainwash the people of Ireland. They convinced the Irish government and international agencies through symbols and hidden messages to the vision of semantic web services, and the so-called benefits of these technologies. They said it would guarantee future happiness and contentment. Aliens completely convinced the nations of the world that research on semantic web services could bring huge profits. Many articles in magazines and in professional conferences had promoted benefits of semantics for seamless integration of human systems. The two masters of the plan, Buslerius and Fensalus, secured funding in Earth currencies for their plan by posing as humans to convince the Irish government to establish their research base, later called Derry, in Galway. Galway, at the beginning of the 21st century, was a small tourist and educational centre in the west of Ireland. Nobody would suspect that it was to become a major global capital in just a few short years. Science Foundation Ireland, talking to Buslerius and Fensalus, who very smartly adopted their names to human ones, were completely unaware that behind the Derry facade, a well-planned conspiracy was being hatched to bring humans under Syracusean control through complete machine dependence. In the year 2002, Ireland decided to go ahead and to fund the Digital Enterprise Research Institute, Derry. Irish government invested €12 million into research in semantic web and semantic web services rather than addressing the more crucial problems of their own country at that time. Naive Irish taxpayers believed that their money was better spent on something as abstract as semantic web services, rather than spending it on improvements to the health system, infrastructure, or social reforms. In 2003, the Syracusians appointed to work for Derry started arriving to Earth, hiding their terrible snouts behind complex human masks. They appeared, walked, talked, and behaved like humans. They were completely indistinguishable from humans, and so their terrible work progressed. Their plan to build the Web Services Execution Environment, WSMX, an infrastructure enabling dynamic discovery, mediation, invocation, and interoperation of web services went perfect. It would break all the rules. A lightweight integration platform based on self-describing services published in the web. Machines talking to each other, translating between languages, negotiating, buying, selling. The rules were set by the Syracusians. Above all, the system had no emotion, only execution semantics. In 2005 and 2006, the aliens focused on providing functionality to the system. Components for data and process mediation, choreography, invocation of web services, and discovery were addressed first. More sophisticated functionality, such as orchestration, were addressed in 2006 and 2007. First releases were available as early as 2004. By deciding to build an open source implementation, aliens managed very quickly to get many unaware humans involved in their plan. The world of humans started its agony in 2007. That was an apocalypse year when aliens started integration with human systems. WSMX as a system starts life on its own. It no longer waits for questions to be asked, but looks for problems to be solved. It does not wait to be asked to complete a task, but predicts the tasks that need to be carried out and suggests solutions. At the beginning, the suggestions were optional, but that would not last. Humans were notoriously slow, illogical, and emotional. WSMX was growing in intelligence, and this intelligence was controlled by the alien. By 2008, any system, device, or engine could talk to any other engine on our planet. And so finally, aliens could execute any single device they could access over the network. The meteorological law of the butterfly effect, where a flap of a butterfly wings in Tokyo changed the weather in London, was replicated on a global grid of interconnected devices. Humans could not function without their machined network. Random choice had all but disappeared. Machines predicted every outcome and counteracted any action determined to be against the system. Reality blurred as nobody was no longer aware if they controlled their machine or if their machine controlled them. In 2009, humans become completely dependent on systems and technologies controlled by aliens. WSMX have the power of interoperability. The competing effort of the one-word limited society had come and gone, its power hampered by awkward usability and reliability on decision-making over hierarchical structures, a fundamental cause of the AI technological implosion on Syracuse. WSMX sucked up related technologies. Semantic Desktop, another product of Derry, starts to control the pace of human lives. It controlled the online society and social networks. No human could live longer than 5 minutes without it. Being online became more important than the need for food, drink, or sleep. All the information was represented in a strange language, as the one called RDF memorized in huge storages to enable their efficient retrieval. The humans were given all the answers they needed to know and given them quickly. Where resistance emerged, WSMX bought up all the alternatives. Sporting events became hugely popular but took place in closed arenas. Why would anyone want to physically be there when they could participate online, controlling the players' moves through the network implants in their muscles? Professional sportsmen and women were well paid, but were half machine and genetically engineered to play longer and fight harder. But as their movements were under the control of the network, only a minimum brain was required. Even the harmless pictures of family, friends, and places were annotated with hidden information about when, where, and why this picture was taken. The machines needed to know and to understand everything. There were a few who tried to warn the others. The FOF network was used for transmitting warnings and invitations for face-to-face talk and human interaction. But their initiators made a fatal mistake. They used WSMX. And what else could they use? With disposable WSMX-enabled embedded chips in every consumer product, garment, food packaging, media, and documentation, sensors immediately located and trapped the source of any insurgent activity. Any message, any information that was opposing the new order was considered hostile and not further transmitted. The opponents were banned from the network. None of their inputs were recognized. They were receiving dummy messages as though coming from friends and others of the same ideas, but in fact were generated by WSMX. They were even invited to bogus meetings where nobody else came. Soon, these heretics gave up and accepted the cruel reality. By 2011, one of the last outposts was conquered by the aliens. All the books of the world's libraries were machine scanned and based on a combination of machine learning technologies were annotated and categorized into digital libraries. No information was destroyed, but requests for anti-WSMX material was adjusted at source and provided to the requester to maintain the illusion of independence and human control. WSMX controlled the libraries and so controlled the knowledge of the world's past. The content of non-approved books was updated. Everything became WSMX oriented. Although paper books remained, they did not form part of the digital universe, and for all but a very small minority, no one cared for them or sought them out. In the closing months of 2011, WSMX bought Amazon and sent its agents through the system to auto-annotate and cross-link the material. The task was enormous, but Stefanos Stekaris had developed a P2P mechanism called Hypercup, which ensured that the task would be completed within 2 years. The semantic web extended its reach of linking everything online. 2012 saw the Oracle Corporation try to buy WSMX, but with what? The Syracusans had no need of Earth money. It was the control of the planet and its resources they needed. Oracle was assimilated into WSMX in August 2012, followed soon by SAP and Microsoft towards the end of that year. One challenge remained: Google. The tactic here was different. The engine had already been so successful that by 2002 the aliens masterminded a stealth plan to control the company. By dispatching agents to spider the Google web and add WSMX compatible semantic annotations, they were taking over from within. Ludwigus Hartus and Morelius were the agents in command of this task, and by 2012 they had it completed, and in their human guise, still hiding their terrible snouts, they held the majority of Google's ownership. WSMX and Google had long been interoperable, and in early 2013 they dropped the facade that WSMX and Google were not two sides of the same coin. It all seemed natural. No one objected. In 2014, the humans became just an extension of their machines. They were now incapable of thinking for themselves, to travel independently, to eat what they wanted, to say what was in their hearts, or to do anything for their own use. But they no longer noticed. The focus of a human's life None of the living things existed anymore. Everything died because of humans' obsession for the computers. The humans were alone, surrounded by machines, dependent on them for their own survival. This catastrophe could be avoided. What could they do if we could go back to the beginning of the 21st century? Remember, WSMX, they should forbid it. Now it's too late. We send this message from the future, having a hope that somebody can receive it.
The answer coming from the beginning of the 21st century. Actually, this seems to be fun. We want machines, we need computers, a lot of computers. And so what if they will control us? We will have more time for fun. We like fun. So let's keep going.